This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
You cannot restrict airspace over a major city without coordinating with the city.
They supposedly look like my eyes.
If the Iranian people want to overthrow the regime, that's up to the Iranian people.
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
Just what was it over El Paso, Texas? Good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Mark Webster. We begin down in the West Texas town of El Paso. Mexican cartel drone, a Pentagon FAA dispute, or was it just a party balloon? No less than 3 explanations have now emerged for what prompted last night's sudden shutdown of airspace over the airport in El Paso, Texas. The original story was that it was over drones from a Mexican drug cartel entering U.S. airspace. That's a concerning idea to former Navy F-18 fighter pilot Mark Buckley.
This is bad. This is technically an incursion of our airspace from an armed terrorist group. What's going to be our response?
But new reports suggest a couple of other less sinister sounding possibilities. A squabble between the Pentagon and FAA over drone testing, and that a wayward party balloon got mistaken for a hostile drone. Either way, El Paso's mayor not happy with the sudden unexplained shutdown.
You cannot restrict airspace over a major city without coordinating with the city, the airport, the hospitals.
Still awaiting definitive word on just what happened in the skies over El Paso. Still waiting also for something definitive in Tucson. Day 11 of the Nancy Guthrie abduction. Last night, Tucson police did detain a subject of interest for a while before releasing him. His name is Carlos Palazuelos.
All I know is that they show my in-law a picture of somebody wearing a mask or something, and they supposedly look like my eyes.
Right. Okay.
That's it. That's all I know.
This afternoon, FBI agents were seen combing the area near Guthrie's house. Also, they made another visit to the home of one of her daughters, Annie, removing bags of items. Next to Capitol Hill, which focused on Epstein with a capital E today, as an annual House hearing reviewing the Department of Justice turned into Democrat after Democrat going after Attorney General Pam Bondi over the department's redaction policy in releasing documents from the Jeffrey Epstein files. Kentucky Republican Thomas Massey going after Bondi over a redaction of former Victoria's Secret CEO Les Wexner. Bondi fired back.
Within 40 minutes, Wexner's name was added back.
Within 40 minutes of me catching you red-handed.
There was one redaction out of over 4,700, and we invited you in. This guy has Trump derangement syndrome. He needs to get. You're a failed politician.
One Democratic lawmaker accused Bondi of lying under oath today. Faith took center stage during another tense moment yesterday at a House hearing on immigration enforcement. It began with New Jersey Democrat Monica McGyver asking ICE head Todd Lyons if he's a religious man. He said yes.
How do you think Judgment Day will work for you with so much blood on your hands?
I'm not going to entertain that question.
Oh, okay, of course not. Do you think you're going to hell, Mr. Lyons?
I'm not going to entertain.
Of course not. How many government...
The gentlelady will suspend.
McGyver is currently facing a 3-count federal indictment for allegedly assaulting immigration officers. Key meeting at the White House today between President Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as tensions remain high between the U.S. and Iran.
As President Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu met at the White House, demonstrations unfolded in Iran. Across the capital of Tehran, large groups gathered to mark the anniversary of the Islamic Revolution. Many chanted death to America and death to Israel as they walked over and burned the flags of both countries.
Is it about regime change? Vice President J.D. Vance.
Well, look, I mean, if the Iranian people want to overthrow the regime, that's up to the Iranian people. What we're focused on right now is the fact that Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. That's been the focus of the president's policy, even going back to the first administration.
A U.S. carrier task force remains on station in the Arabian Sea. Canadian authorities say several people are dead after a school shooting in British Columbia. The RCMP says yesterday's shooting happened at the Tumbler Ridge School in the foothills of the Canadian Rockies. This student escaped unharmed.
I was in the mechanics classroom preparing to do some work on my car when the alarm went off that I've never heard before. And our principal goes throughout the halls and she's saying, people close your doors, lock down, stuff like that.
Among the dead is the suspect, reported to be a young man living as a so-called transgender female who was found with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. A report claims President Trump threatened to delay the opening of a U.S.-Canada bridge only after a competing bridge owner lobbied Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. The New York Times says Matthew Maroon met with Lutnick in Washington, D.C. Monday. The Maroon family has operated the Ambassador Bridge between Detroit and Windsor, Ontario for decades, but is facing mounting legal challenges to block the competing project known as the Gordie Howe International Bridge. Well, business news next. A delayed January jobs report finally out, and it was worth the wait. Joseph Quinlan's head of market strategy at Bank of America tells CBS.
This is a very healthy labor market overall. Good job growth, a lot of demand. So this is a very good story for the underlying economy heading deeper into 2026.
Government shutdowns delayed compiling and releasing those January numbers. Well, a Super Bowl victory parade in Seattle today. This Seahawks fan speaks for many.
I told my manager, though, way before we even went to the Super Bowl, I said if we win, I'm not coming in on whatever day the parade follows.
Up to 1 million people were expected to turn out for today's parade. One of these days, Bills fans, one of these days. Still to come on the 5 o'clock report, a recap of our top local stories and highlights from today's Inside Out feature with Martha Manikas-Foster.
I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. Our call for tonight, variably cloudy, brisk and cold with flurries. Lake effect snow could deposit a couple 3 inches to the east and southeast of Lake Ontario and to a lesser extent southeast of Lake Erie. Low temperatures tonight near 20. We're in the 20s tomorrow. On Friday, a mixture of clouds and sunshine, and high temperatures rebounding to near 30. We'll have some sunshine and a seasonable chill on Saturday. Chance for some snow on Sunday, especially in eastern areas, clearing for Monday.
Thank you, Kevin. Now checking the stories making news where you live across New York and Pennsylvania. Final day of the Republican convention on Long Island. On Tuesday, conservative lawmakers announced they will unveil a series of bills to try to lower the cost of energy in the Empire State. State Senator Rob Ort.
We rolled out our energy affordability package, which previewed a few bills that our conference feels will have an immediate impact on putting money back in ratepayers' pockets, providing them some kind of relief.
Ort says some of the cost-saving proposals are good, but a bit vague.
We need timeframes and goals that are realistic that we can actually achieve. In the short term, the goal is to provide ratepayer relief.
The package is called Affordable Energy, Not Albany Mandates. Ort says the focus this year is tax cuts, reduced regulation, public safety, and the high cost of living in the Empire State. There are 2 publicly known plans to bring ICE detention facilities to former warehouses in Pennsylvania, in Berks and Schuylkill counties. But not if Governor Josh Shapiro can help it. Here's Family Life's Sarah Harnish.
During a visit to Lackawanna County on Tuesday, the governor was unabashed about what he thinks about ICE detainment centers in the Keystone State.
We were kept in the dark. I do not want these facilities here. They do not belong in Berks or Schuylkill County.
Shapiro insists they will compromise people's safety, and he's not sure the infrastructure can handle it. He says he's trying to say no to ICE in Pennsylvania.
While the federal government has extraordinary power, I can tell you that we've been working very hard behind the scenes to see what we can do to potentially stop this.
ICE has detained 69,000 people since the start of 2026 and needs a place to put them. President Trump says 70% of those arrested have outstanding criminal charges or convictions. Sarah Harnish, Family Life News.
All right, thank you very much, Sarah. Despite our brutal winter weather at times this year, many towns in Monroe County, New York have had to go light on the salt. That's due to the delayed delivery of road salt from American Rock Salt, a company that supplies salt to 17 counties statewide. That's causing some headaches for some area highway superintendents.
Yeah, it's a huge concern. I mean, I don't remember it being this way 10, 12 years ago. Something's changed. Yeah, it needs to get figured out.
Robert Viscardi, highway superintendent for the town of Clarkson, that's west of Rochester. Similar road salt delays being experienced in the towns of Webster, Rush, Henrietta, Sweden, Penfield, and Parenton. Town of Ogden Highway Superintendent Doug Case also voicing concerns to WHAM.
Deliveries, when we order them, are slower coming in. Talking to our area superintendents, we're all on the same course of trying to manage our supply that we have because it's not coming in like it was before.
The town of Naples in Ontario County facing some road salt delivery delays as well. Up next, highlights from our Inside Out feature as our Martha Manikas Foster speaks with Lisa Anderson, Director of Focus on the Family's Young Adults and Boundless Ministry, about how single people can reframe the way they look at Valentine's Day and how their friends might make it more enjoyable as well.
In broad terms, how do you find that Christian single people view Valentine's Day? And does the age of the single person make a difference in what their perspective is?
Yeah, generally I think there's kind of this collective meh about it. I say as a single person myself, I feel like we see the commercialization of so many things and all the stores trying to capitalize on it. We're kind of coming through this holiday trifecta of horribleness, I say, for singles. So we've navigated Christmas, then we had to go into New Year's, and then now Valentine's Day. And it's just like, will it never end? And will I be forever reminded of my relationship status and what all that entails? And so I would say younger singles, for the most part, they tend to think, okay, well, maybe it's just not my time. I'm working on my career. Certainly as singles get older, especially if they wish to be married, it can be a really tough season. And in thinking specifically of those who maybe have gone through a really tough breakup, who are entering the new year thinking or praying or hoping that this year is going to be different, that maybe their situation will change. So there can be a lot of angst around it.
So we know as people who love Jesus Christ that our identity is wrapped up in how He views us. But why, Lisa, why can that not feel like enough when all the emphasis everywhere all the time seems to point to what others have and you may want?
I think it's one of those things where we have to look and realize, okay, who is God? Who does He say I am? What does it mean that I am single? What does that mean for me? Because I often have to remind myself, my singleness is not the biggest thing about me. Just like a married person's marriage isn't the biggest thing about them. So what is God calling of me in this season, and how can I really live it out joyfully?
Let me just reset. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Inside Out on Family Life. I'm talking today with author, radio host, and podcaster Lisa Anderson. So Lisa, have you learned some concrete strategies that might make Valentine's Day, or maybe the whole trifecta, for unattached single people a little bit more comfortable?
Sure. I think there are a few things that have really helped me over the years. And one of those is I say don't let Valentine's Day hit you like the flu. Yeah, sure, it's made to be a romantic holiday, but who says? I think it's very helpful for us to say instead, wow, what can I do with this day? What does it look like for me to celebrate what God has given me and the relationships I do have? I'm a big proponent, first of all, of the Galentines, the friends gatherings, the opportunity that we have to maybe look outside ourselves and encourage other people. So one example for me is I love older people, and I have a group of widows that I love and I kind of care for and have my arm around. And so I'll have them over for a movie and for dinner. That's an opportunity to bless someone else. I would also say, and I don't want to underemphasize this, it's also okay to grieve where you are right now. I think too often we put a happy face on our sorrows, especially around singleness and what we're hoping for, when really the psalmist tells us to pour out your complaint to God because He's the one who actually cares and certainly can do something about it. But also to ground yourself in truth and recognize that this is not your worst day. This is not the biggest thing about you. And you can really move forward confidently in so many other things that you are about.
Lisa Anderson, Director of Focus on the Family's Young Adults and Boundless Ministry, speaking with our Martha Manikas Foster on today's edition of Inside Out. You can hear the entire feature and all of our Family Life original news features at Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and FamilyLife.org. This is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
If you get sick or suffer an injury, a hospital emergency room may not be the best place to go.
Hi, I'm Rob West with a Faith and Finance Minute. Emergency rooms are designed for life-threatening situations like chest pain, severe trauma, or trouble breathing. Urgent cares, on the other hand, are intended for non-life-threatening needs such as minor injuries, infections, or flu symptoms. The cost gap can be dramatic. A visit to urgent care often costs far less than an ER visit, sometimes saving hundreds or even thousands over time. That's money that can instead support your family, create margin, or be given generously. Stewardship isn't only about big decisions, it's about everyday wisdom. When we understand how systems work and choose carefully, we honor God with the resources He's entrusted to us. Discover the best Christian financial articles, podcasts, and videos by visiting our website, faithfi.com, or by downloading FaithFi, Faith and Finance from your app store.
Thank you, Rob. Still to come on the 5 o'clock report, nuclear fusion. Child's play? Well, it is for one kid. His story after Weather with Kevin.
I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. Cold weather is ahead these next couple days and nights, but nothing out of the ordinary. There will be a little lake effect snow, otherwise scattered flurries over the next 36 hours. A little more than wave sunshine to close the work week. Our call for tonight and tomorrow, variably cloudy, brisk, and cold with flurries. Lake effect snow could deposit a couple 3 inches in favored areas to the east and southeast of Lake Ontario and to a lesser extent southeast of Lake Erie. Low temperatures tonight near 20. We're in the 20s tomorrow. On Friday, a mixture of clouds and sunshine, and high temperatures rebounding to near 30. We'll have some sunshine and a seasonable chill on Saturday. Chance for some snow on Sunday, especially in eastern areas, clearing for Monday.
All right, sounds good, Kevin. Thank you very much. Finally at 5.
Wait a minute, what are you doing, Doc?
I need fuel.
Remember Mr. Fusion from Back to the Future 2? Nuclear fusion is kind of a holy grail of human energy supply. It powers the sun. Creating a contained fusion reaction on Earth would offer unlimited cheap, safe power, though no one's really pulled it off yet. But even making an unsustained version is challenging science, unless you're Dallas 7th grader Aiden McMillan, who just before his 13th birthday became the youngest to ever do it, a project he started working on when he was 8.
I mean, I loved the project, but I also kind of hated it.
Would you say you were a little obsessed with it?
A little bit.
He tells KXAS-TV he spent 2 years just studying physics, the next 2 designing and building prototypes, and, well, reassuring his parents he wasn't going to vaporize the city of Dallas.
There were some alarm bells with my mom. She was like, whoa, take a step back. Tell me exactly what could go wrong.
Worst case scenario. What happens here? Visions in my head of things that were very scary.
Not to worry, Mom. Unlike nuclear fission and its radioactivity concerns, no such issues with fusion, and for one brief shining moment, Aiden became the youngest to ever successfully conduct a fusion reaction. How did that feel?
It's hard to describe. It's the end of like a long journey.
7th grader Aiden McMillan. Just call him young Mr. Fusion. And that's the world we live in for Wednesday, February 11th, 2026. Thanks again for joining us. I'm Mark Webster, Family Life News.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.